time on The Mix, we get an up-close look inside the Anoka Historical Society. FAQ heads to the recycling center. Then we honor local heroes in Finding Good. And we find some live music out and about. The Mix starts right now.
For the past 18 years, local history has been put on display here. Today we go up close with the artifacts and stories preserved by the Anoka County Historical Society. When you visit the Anoka County History Center and Library.
So this is one of our current exhibits. We call it Getting It Done, Anoka County's answer to World War II.
You'll see pieces of the past, preserved and on display.
This is a homemade body form.
And if you look closely, you'll learn they all have a story to tell.
During World War II, one of the major home front efforts that was constantly told to people was conserve materials.
In 1942, the War Production Board made selling wool pants with cuffs illegal and worked to reduce fabric use in women's clothing by 15%.
Anything you can conserve, don't use any extra.
As this body form shows, that directive was followed in Coon Rapids homes more than 7 decades in the past.
It would hold its shape, and it's your body exactly.
It's an example of people far from the front lines, working to make a difference at home.
We really wanted to highlight their efforts.
School desks tell the story of elementary and middle school education from the late 1800s through the 1940s.
And those little schools just wouldn't fit the number of children who needed to attend them anymore.
Something as simple as toys and tools stored in a suburban garage between 1950 and 1970 bring an important chapter in Anoka County's history within reach of younger generations.
It touches on a number of interesting aspects of work and play and, things that you might have been doing with your family at your home during that era.
A century has passed since the League of Women Voters Coon Rapids chapter was formed.
This is an organization that grew out of the women's suffrage movement.
It's just one of many organizations reaching the century benchmark. All of these collections remind us of the names, faces, and events that shape our history.
If we're not here as a museum, as a historical society, where does this stuff live? Or does it live anywhere?
Ensuring it does survive requires forestalling the many hazards that come with the passage of time. Pen was put to these pages 119 years ago.
Someone is accusing a fellow, resident of the Centerville area of catching fish illegally in a certain place. And then a couple cases later, we find that person is sort of retaliating by then accusing a family member of his accuser of also catching fish illegally in another place.
It's a look into Anoka County's early judicial system.
When people bring things to us, new artifact donations, document donations, this is not uncommon.
Threats can include moisture, insects, sunlight, or fire.
I have to keep them safe and I have to keep them findable. If everything were just to sit in boxes all the time back here and never get looked at and never have anybody know anything about it, what would be the point of keeping it?
For fragile newspapers,
so there's a roll of film.
The solution is microphotography.
So this is the Anoka County Union, all of the issues for the year of 1922.
Yet many of the documents you'll find in the research and reference section of the History Center are original.
So that looks like a check or a receipt.
In addition to city directories and school yearbooks.
The Coon Rapids High School yearbook from 1965.
These records can help a family tree grow, but this bridge to the past is fragile.
We're sometimes able to find those connections for them and to pull up an obituary of a relative for whom they maybe had a name and a death date, and suddenly they know all this more information about this person that they're related to.
Mom, dear Mom.
I know there are things that don't exist anymore because nobody thought to save them.
Your package arrived.
A reminder that the world we live in today will be history worth preserving. Over the next couple of years, a record of everything stored here will be available to search online. I'm Dan Carpenter, bringing you up close to art, history, and culture. Now we go to Steve Antis with FAQ.
Like a well-tuned machine,
Styrofoam from a lot of packaging.
where paper shredders run non-stop. The Recycling Center offers programs to help cut down on trash and keep it out of the landfill.
We're a really great resource for anyone who lives in the community who's trying to find ways to manage their waste without just throwing everything away.
I like that it's really convenient, especially for the materials that I can't put in my curbside bin. It's kind of a one-stop location for me.
There are over 30 different items which are accepted here but not curbside. Many are free, some have fees.
Carpet is really popular. We empty this container once or twice a week.
The layout here changed recently to make room for monthly recycling events.
So the first Saturday of every month we do mattresses. They're $15 for each piece. And we have a truck that comes in here specifically on those days for that item.
The most popular service offered are the electronics and appliance recycling events held on the first and third Saturday of each month.
This is where we'll stage our appliances and all our electronics. So when the cars come through here on the weekends, we can keep the traffic flow to one side of the yard.
Coon Rapids resident Bradley Worcester recently asked a question for the recycling center.
I have a question if there's a charge to recycle a vacuum cleaner.
There's a $6 fee for a vacuum cleaner, and you can bring it into the recycling center on the first and third Saturday of each month during the appliance and electronics recycling event from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So we can take those items in for you cheaper than you can bring them in at another place. That's our goal, is to use some of that grant funding that we get to subsidize a little bit of that cost.
The site gets 100% of its support thanks to a grant from the state of Minnesota.
So you're not paying $75 to get rid of a TV, you're paying $25 or whatever that comes down to be.
The company, Green Lights Recycling, takes those appliances and electronics from Coon Rapids to their Blaine location.
It can be anything, and as long as it's electronic and it has a cord, it's probably something we can take and recycle.
They have over 100 items listed on their website which can be recycled. Old TVs are a large part of the waste stream by weight, but in the digital age, computers quickly become obsolete and get recycled for their components.
We'll have a couple of people taking apart computers all day, every day. We'll have somebody tending to the batteries that we recover out of various equipment, make sure that they're taped, terminals are taped correctly, and make sure they're containerized correctly.
A major concern for customers involves sensitive electronic information.
This is our hard drive destruction machine. Essentially, we take computers apart, the hard drives are removed from the computers. Our main motivation is to prevent identity theft by virtue of sensitive information not passing to anybody it's not supposed to. So by running them through the shredder, they're virtually destroyed forever.
What remains gets recycled.
Any part of that hard drive is recycled. There's even some rare earth minerals inside the drives that power the motor on the hard drives that can be recovered too.
These boxes are filled with broken down components which are shipped to downstream recyclers and will find their way into new products. Recent figures show about 35% of the stuff we throw away gets recycled. Some go the extra mile.
I like sorting it. We have a better product. It's cleaner stuff to put out. I like this, and we can take so much more than curbside. So I frankly don't do curbside. I bring all my stuff here.
The Coon Rapids Recycling Center is open for business 5 days a week for residents and small businesses, and it's the only full-time center in Anoka County.
As long as you live in the county, you're certainly welcome to use our site.
We do have some of the circular ones.
Last November, Coon Rapids residents were once again able to recycle fluorescent light bulbs for free. Because of recycling efforts in 2018 in Coon Rapids, over 6,000 pounds of stuff was kept out of the landfill.
We try to let the residents who are asking us questions drive what we take on next. So where there's a need, we try to fill the need.
If you have something you'd like to get rid of and you're wondering if it can be recycled, just call the Coon Rapids Recycling Center. If it's a problem material they can't take, chances are they know who can. And now we'll join Steve Erickson, who's on the road to finding good.
This month in Finding Good, we honor some of the heroes that keep us safe day in and day out. Coon Rapids firefighters are on call 24/7, but they do much more than put out fires. The Coon Rapids Fire Department is dedicated to preserving life and property for the citizens of Coon Rapids.
We have a combination fire department. What that means is we have career personnel, it's their full-time job, and we also have paid on-call personnel, which is their part-time job.
What should we do before we do anything and we see something's on fire?
In all, Coon Rapids has a staff of 51 firefighters. 31 are full-time employees of the city, and 20 are paid on-call members. Training is a big part of what they do.
So I coordinate all the training for our career staff and our paid on-call staff. So our career staff trains almost on a daily basis, usually in the morning, and we consistently train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I see all 3 shifts in that same slot every week.
Gaining valuable skills is important as the department's call volume continues to grow. The most recent data shows a total of 6,400 calls for service, which averages out to about 17 calls per day.
We work 24-hour shifts. We start at 8 in the morning and we work till 8 o'clock the next morning, so we're here all day, all night. We sleep here, we live here.
Despite what people may think, responding to fires is just a small part of what they do.
About 70% of our calls are medical calls.
That includes everything from chest pain and shortness of breath to an asthma attack. All of the department's career members are trained as EMTs.
You talked about the training, so we're always training. We're kind of a jack of all trades and a master of none. So we know how to put fires out, that's our forte. We know how to do medicals, that's our forte. But then we dabble in hazmat. We got a specialized rescue team, so if they need to rappel off the water tower or down into a confined space like a manhole to rescue the people working down in the sewer system, we can do that.
Aside from the daily calls for service, there's the investigative and inspection side of the Coon Rapids Fire Department.
I have 4 fire inspector and fire investigators that go out and we try to find the origin and cause of the fires when there is a fire.
They also make sure buildings across the city are safe.
A lot of my job is I'm going to construction sites and walking with the sprinkler contractors or fire alarm companies or the general superintendent of the job soup that's in charge of the construction site, and just kind of review all the fire codes and make sure they're doing everything to code.
You should sleep with the bedroom doors closed. The door is going to stop that bad smoke from getting in your room. It can save your life.
Another big part of keeping the community safe is educating area youth. They teach elementary students important lessons during Fire Prevention Week and also at Summer Safety Camp.
I believe that the fire prevention that we do in town here is a credit of our low fires.
Firefighters will also come to your house to install smoke detectors, and they also work with apartment managers across town to install fire stoppers, which help extinguish cooking fires.
It's really important to me as fire chief that we're very active in the community, both on and off duty. I mean, clearly everybody knows what we do on the 6,400 calls a year, emergency calls. We do our job, we do it well, we're trained well, the council and the managers support us, and so do all the citizens. In addition to that, it's important for me to be out there and help others that are not as fortunate.
And active they are when they aren't putting out fires, responding to medical emergencies, or educating the public. Firefighters are giving back to the community.
We're always looking at ways we can, ring bells for Salvation Army or raise money for Jerry's kids with Fill the Boot. And we leave the city and we go outside the city to help kids at the burn camp. So kids that have been been burned, we go help them. And so we're always just giving back.
Giving back and helping others. It's a calling for the men and women of the Coon Rapids Fire Department and a job they wouldn't trade for anything.
Well, I think that's why a lot of us are in it, is to make a difference. I mean, no one makes a difference on their own.
They have a special bond when you work 24 hours with somebody or a group of people. You get to know them pretty well.
It is rewarding. It's really rewarding when you can make a smile on someone's face when they're possibly having the worst day of their life.
I'm real pleased with the level of service we provide. We're very proud to be an active member of the Coon Rapids community.
You will find just the right ingredients. Thursday nights at the Coon Rapids Dam.
Flyers?
From early June through August 8th. Free summer concerts liven up the summer nights. The annual tradition presented by the Coon Rapids Arts Commission draws quite a crowd.
Well, this has started, a good 20 years or longer ago. And it's just something that the people of, whether they're Coon Rapids or from other cities, they look forward to coming down because we've got the pavilion, the dance floor, and it's just a good night to spend outside.
Oh, banana split for my baby.
On any given Thursday night,
Water for me.
a new band rolls in with a new sound. On this night, I got a chance to meet the Dirty Shorts Brass Band.
It's such an iconic summer thing to me to think about, everybody out on their lawn chairs and you guys playing some great music. How does it feel to kind of interact with the audience and get to share nights like this?
Well, that audience interaction, that's what we try to be about compared to, I think, most bands. We play off of each other in the band and then with the crowd too, and just kind of connect with folks and try to make them laugh. I'd have to say that I'm always way happier after doing one of these than I am when I drove up to it.
For somebody who's never been on a stage, maybe never played an instrument, or certainly never played for an audience, what does it feel like to be up here? Can you give me a sense of this perspective?
Well, if you've never done it before, I suppose it's terrifying. I don't think I've been terrified since I was maybe in high school.
Show me your position, where do we go here?
Well, since I'm kind of a big deal, I'm in the middle. So what's the middle of 6? But I'm near the middle. I guess the middle would be right here. And so I'm talking to folks, I'm singing the songs, and then I play my 1930 Gretsch Pathfinder trumpet, which I bought on eBay for $17.
So tell me about this. So it's not latest and greatest for you?
No, it's not. This is what a lot of people would call a wall hanger. Like Applebee's used to have instruments on the walls because that was the best place for them due to their lack of quality. That's what this is.
So why do you use that?
Because it works really well for me. It plays easy. I wonder what this is like. And I was like, whoa, I really like this horn. So this is the horn I've been playing for about the last 10 years.
Just has the right sound for you.
Yeah. It really does.
So I'm a flute player.
You are?
So
you can't be in our band then.
I know, this is very foreign. What would I do if I wanted to try to get up here and join the group?
Well, first you would take the horn.
Okay.
And then you would blow a note.
That's simple, really?
Are you having stage fright?
You want me to do it?
Sure.
All right.
Hey. Good. You're better than 2 of our guys.
Did I earn a spot?
You did.
Can I be in the band?
That was the middle C, by the way. Well done.
With the instruments back in the right hands, it's a night of toe tapping, partner twirling, good fun. You can enjoy live music like the Dirty Shorts Brass Band every Thursday night here at the Coon Rapids Dam. I'm Jennifer Anderson, out and about at the Coon Rapids Summer Concert Series. Do you have an idea you'd like to see on The Mix? Drop us an email at themix@ctncoonrapids.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.